Our next performer plans on ensuring happiness this Christmas by focusing on presents that his loved ones won't immediately toss. The irrefusable, that's funny, right? Irrefusable, no? Irrefusable. There's comedy in there. Shawn Macdonald.
I grew up in a suburb of Quebec City known as Sainte-Foy, Quebec. And I grew up in a large family. There were 10 people in my family, 8 kids. And so Christmas was, a challenge, right? There was one salary, a teacher's salary. And, when we were kids, that income had to be spread out over a lot of people at Christmas time. And also for us, as children, buying presents or getting presents was a bit of a challenge too when we were little. We would just go to my mom and say, "Mom, can I have some money so I can buy you a Christmas present?" So that was challenging for them too, because they didn't have the money to give us to buy presents for them or for each other. So when I was 11 years old, I got a paper route in Quebec. Yeah. I delivered Le Journal du Québec to about 70 people. I had a large territory. I had to walk, probably about 3 miles every morning before I went to school. In the Quebec winters, I might add. I know, right? And so this Christmas, I bought presents for pretty much everybody in my family, but I was really stuck on the present to buy for my mother. I really didn't know what to get her. And I noticed, finally, that my father had not yet purchased the traditional family poinsettia. And so I thought, hey, this is my in here. So I said, Dad, I can't help but notice, but where's the poinsettia? He didn't buy the poinsettia yet. Because usually, it's around a bit before Christmas. My mother loved the poinsettia, right? And he's like, I don't know. I just can't seem to get around to it. I haven't bought it yet. And I was like, Dad, hey, buddy, hey, shh. I got this, right? I got this one. It's okay. I'll take care of it. I got some money. I'll get a poinsettia. I would tell my sisters, I'm doing the poinsettia this year. I got it handled right. So I waited. I waited for the right time because I didn't want to buy it too early because I didn't know where I'd hide it because you can't really wrap a poinsettia. So I waited until Christmas Eve. I knew that when the store would be closing early that day. And so off I went to the Kmart Mall to select the perfect poinsettia. And I had the whole picture in my head of what would happen when I would present this poinsettia to my mother and how blown away she would be that I saved Christmas by making sure the poinsettia was in the house, and that she would just wrap me in her arms and just be completely overcome and just so happy that I bought her this poinsettia. So I get to the Kmart Mall and I'm checking them out, and I'm not going to buy the really tiny ones. Forget that. So I find this sort of medium-sized poinsettia, and I make sure that I find the perfect one. I found this beautiful, deep red poinsettia with big, beautiful flowers on it, really full and gorgeous. So, Madame, I'll be taking this one. Merci, joyeux Noël. And off I go, head home. So I run downstairs to the basement to where my bedroom was, because there were 8 kids in my family, and I take the little thin plastic bag off the poinsettia, and I guess I had assumed that since I was so tough and could brave the Quebec winters so easily, that maybe the poinsettia would be okay, or that it would know what to do to make it the mile walk from Kmart to my house it was -20 that day. So what was once a beautiful deep red poinsettia was now sort of pinky gray, like instantly just drained of all its color. But it was still clearly a plant. I mean, it was still clearly a flower, but it just didn't look the same. I went immediately into denial, and I just thought, okay, well, I have to give her this thing. So somehow I have to get behind this thing and give it to her, and still it's gonna be okay, and somehow it's gonna be all right. And so all the presents were under the tree, and it was really early in the morning. My parents weren't up yet, so I bought a bow, and I put the bow onto the plant, and I couldn't really wrap it, so I just kind of went up and put it under the tree, and everyone came up, and everyone kind of ignored it. Presents were being unwrapped, and paper was everywhere, and finally I just couldn't ignore it anymore, and I had to just deal with it. So I just kind of put on my bravest face and went, and so Mom, I got you this poinsettia for the, and I knew right away that she must have talked to my dad. And she knew that I knew that there was something wrong with this plant. But my mother just went crazy. She just went, "Oh my God, the poinsettia! You saved Christmas!" And she took me in her arms and gave me this huge hug. And so there we were, both of us pretending. And the little boy that thought he was going to give the best present ever got the best present ever that Christmas. Thank you.